What is up? We are back. We are back. I'm through driving for the day. Um, I got like another 150 miles I could have drove, but I just don't feel like going nowhere today. Anybody that drives, they can attest to you just have those days where it's like, man, I don't feel like doing nothing. I just want to pick my load up and I just want to get to the closest truck stop and call it a day. You know what I mean? But anyway, I saw something interesting. And I said, you know what? I didn't even take that into consideration, right? So we just played on Saturday, and we have a game today, actually, Thursday. Now, obviously, it's a game where we're probably going to play a lot of the younger guys, so it may not be that big of that big of an issue, but it is something to kind of take into consideration. Like, are we being shafted for by playing tonight when in reality this game probably should have been Saturday, maybe a noon kick or something like that, or 9 a.m. kick or something like that. But we're playing a game on a Thursday after playing a very physical game on a Saturday. Um, Ellen, my grifting partner. Yeah, we grifting out here. We grifting. But someone that brought that to my attention. I was like, well, I didn't really think about it like that. Even though this is not a big opponent, but it's still something to take into consideration. You know what I mean? Now, obviously, they do it in the NFL. You have teams that play on a Sunday, and then they turn back around and they play on a Thursday again. So, but it's not necessarily the same, because again, these are student athletes at the end of the day. But I just thought that was something interesting I thought about. Well, I saw it and then I thought about it because I was like, dang, yeah, we are kind of getting shafted a little bit, but still not a very, very bad, very hard opponent to play. So might not be too bad. But hey man, if y'all ain't, man, y'all checked it out. Man, y'all go check out Coach Hayes Good, Bad, and Ugly, man. Go check that out. That's some good stuff. I mentioned it in his comment section. And it was a play. It was a good play. And it was a run play. I don't know if anybody remembers the run play. Well, I'm sure you do, but it was a play we gave the ball to Henry Parrish, who was in the red zone. And I think Henry Parrish got tackled maybe at the 6 or the 7 yard line or something like that. But before the snap of the ball, I noticed, I said, man, it looks like Aeneas Cooper and Francis are kind of like they're a little bit further in the backfield than the other three offensive linemen. I said, are they about to pull? Now, obviously, this is before the play played through, but I just noticed that as soon as it went to that clip, and sure enough, they pulled. So I said, oh, okay, well, we need to get that cleaned up because you're kind of giving that away. You play another opponent, teams get more film and stuff on you. Because obviously, at this particular point, the high of the Texas A&M game has started to come down. So at this point, it's kind of started to kind of look at some of the things that we can do to get better. And I saw that and I said, man, we got to correct that. So later on in Coach Hayes' breakdown, salute to Coach Hayes, salute to Roman as well as Steve-O. What y'all do, man, is great. You know what I mean? It is great, great, great stuff. Bring a very, very good perspective, to Miami Cane fandom. So in the bad section of the breakdown, it was a similar offensive line set where the guys pulled. But this time it wasn't. Aeneas Cooper was closer to the line of scrimmage, and Francis was still back, but they both still pulled. So obviously, maybe they probably saw that upstairs and kind of was like, hey, y'all guys can't give it away so much, because against better teams, not saying A&M wasn't a good team, but against teams that we play later in the schedule, they may notice that and say, hey, look, they're going to run the ball to the left because these two guys are further back to get room so they can pull. So, But I'm sure Coach Mirabel as well as Coach Cristobal, they're going to identify that. But that's going to be something I'm going to be looking at in tonight's game to see if we call any plays where the guys are pulling and they are a little bit further back in the backfield in reference to their other three counterparts. Because I'm like, okay, so now it's almost like it's a habit now. So it's like, is this the way he coaching it or whatever the situation is? But that is like a dead giveaway and something that we are going to have to correct. But anyway, so I saw a clip the other day. Well, actually I saw the clip today. No, I saw it yesterday. I saw a clip yesterday. And obviously it was after the game. I guess the reporter asked Jimbo, you know, what is something they could have did better defensively. And he basically said we could have got more pressure on the quarterback. Now, before the game was even played, I said, man, DJ Durkin has not had a good defense since his time at the University of Florida, right? And I never heard of DJ Durkin being an aggressive defensive coordinator, which means like sending pressure. You know what I mean? And so I saw a A&M fan on Twitter. They said like, hey, Durkin sent too many 3-man, 4-man, sets, really rarely brought anybody extra. And I'm thinking like, well, no, I'm not. Y'all pay good money for that defensive line. Like, somebody need to command the double team, and the other three of y'all got to be the one-on-one block. It's just simple. It's just simple as that. O-line look real good. Yeah, the O-line, it looked good, Helen. I'm not saying it didn't. I was just saying that particular play kind of stuck out to me because I think that's something that some other teams could capitalize on because you're giving it away like y'all are about to pull, So, but obviously you could probably maybe scheme another play around it, but you're not gonna be able to scheme it every time, unless you kind of do a better job of masking that. You know what I mean? But if you're talking about they played good in terms of not getting pressure, yeah, they did. Yeah, they did good in that too. But A&M fans said, yeah, they was only sending 3 or 4. But I'm like, hey, y'all spent all that money on the defensive line. Oh no, that was in reference to Jimbo. Yeah. We played great. They was only sending 3 or 4 guys, and I'm like, well, y'all spent all that money on that defensive line, like. Y'all gonna kind of down that sword, I don't know if I can say that, but like y'all gonna that proverbial sword. That's the battle that y'all selected. So y'all played that particular battle. Now, looking at it from kind of an objective standpoint, I could possibly say, yeah, maybe there were some situations where they should have potentially sent more pressure. But then also I'm looking like, well, man, y'all couldn't cover us one-on-one. Isaiah Horton, one-on-one coverage. Gives the guy kind of a stutter and go, catch the ball. The guy falls down on the ground, but I guess that's because the field was slippery. Forgot about that. The field was slippery. That's why he fell. And then at the end of the game, obviously, Jacoby George's last touchdown, kind of a 2-man look. Jacoby George runs by the guy, catch the ball, fix his face mask, he runs into the end zone. So it's almost like Durkin was it's like a rock in a hard place. It's like, I cannot afford to send someone extra because y'all can't even cover, like that. But I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, y'all did the right thing in terms of me, forcing TVD to make a play. If you keep listening to TVD, you're gonna get burnt. A&M defense will not face another quarterback in pass D. Hey, Aaron, I'm glad you said that because that's my very next point. That particular game plan or that defensive set that Texas A&M ran, they can get away with that with the rest of their particular schedule because they missed a lot of tackles. Man, QB, I'm not gonna say they didn't miss. No. They were lazy on those couple of those X catches. They just throwing the shoulder, nobody wrapping up. That was lazy. I mean, they were lazy. You know what I mean? But going back to Aaron, I said that particular game plan that they deployed against us, that'll be a great game plan against Alabama with Jalen Milroe, because Jalen Milroe is, maybe if his first look is not there, he's getting out the pocket. He's going to look to try to get down the field. So having 7 or 8 guys back in zone coverage, that means everybody can converge in on the ball. That's a great game plan against him. But against us, I think if we play a team, they look like our D last year not tackling. Yeah, they really did. But I think moving forward, maybe, like I think you probably against UNC, Clemson, Florida State, I think they're going to bring some pressure. They're going to see if TVD can make some throws on the run. And the one time that I do remember that they did get some pressure, and Coach Hayes put this in his breakdown, TVD kind of got out of the pocket and they got him for a sack. But that was just that was like probably the only time that they actually were successful with that 3 or 4 man rush, getting back there to the quarterback. But that is something that I kind of noticed, because I'm like, okay, it's going to be interesting to kind of see. You see some of these throws, those throws TV was making, guy who can make throws like that are mostly in the field. Yeah, TV can make those throws. I'm not denying that the sidearm pass to X where he changed the arm angle because the guy was coming out the edge. Hey, you gotta be a special player to make that type of play, right? But like I said, A&M that's the battle that they chose. We're gonna see if TVD can pick us apart, and like a sniper, he picked us apart. I mean, he picked them apart. But I'm gonna be interested to see if some teams kind of crank the heat up a little bit more. How we're gonna do, because I mean, again, objectively speaking, yeah, A&M lost a lot in the secondary, but again, that's their fault. You picked guys with questionable character, and they get out the team. So I was watching Joe Clay on Miami. He said the same thing. So, what you mean? What did he say, Ellen? Because I didn't watch Joe. What did he say about the Texas A&M game plan, or what will we look like when someone sends some pressure? What did he say? I didn't catch it. I saw it, but I listened. I mainly during the day, I may listen to a few like football things, but I spend the majority of my day listening to like boxing. Clemson and FCU are concerning. UNCD is not much of a concern to me about TVD and his ability. What? His ability to play outside the pocket, or just his overall ability? But yeah, QB. Yeah, I'm not saying, me personally, I'm not saying that much of a concern, but I do think it's going to be interesting, because I do think they probably are going to send they're going to send some heat. Like, plain and simple. I think they're going to do that, because you have to make TVD speed that process up, because if you leave TVD in the pocket, like, TVD is going to look like the best quarterback in all of college football, like, bar none. He's going to look like that. But if you get him off his angle, and he can make some throws outside the pocket, but I think if you get him uncomfortable, the 21 offensive line wasn't great pass back. TV got sacked 30 times, but still went out for those. Yeah, he did. And to piggyback off that, Aaron, we didn't have much of a run game either. In terms of just kind of making teams respect it, we really didn't have much of a run game. But true, FSU and Clemson are known for D-line. UNC is not. UNC gonna send some heat. Florida State gonna send some heat. I think Clemson gonna send some heat too. It's gonna be interesting, because our guys are gonna have to make some. They're gonna have to do like they did against A&M. They're gonna have to beat some one-on-one coverage. And again, that was another thing that I haven't seen a lot of people highlight, is the fact that our guys, they beat one-on-one coverage. Especially on that little seam route that X ran, where he kind of faked the guy, got him to open his hips and went back out. Like, beautiful. You know what I mean? Our guys beat a lot of one-on-one coverage, which is something that we've had trouble with the past couple of years. You know what I mean? But yeah, but like I said, getting back to the Bethune game, that's something I want to see. I want to see if our guys are pulling, are they tipping it off? I think what they do is max protect when they send heat. Exactly, Miami could run for Ish, TVD throwing, he still. Hey. But QB, what I say about max protect, um, yeah, you can do that, but I, I, I think, I don't know. I like our three, X, Kobe, and George, but I don't know if we can. I don't know if we'll. Again, that's kind of tipping your hand again. Like, okay, if you kind of max protecting, it's like, okay, I don't know how you necessarily. But like I said, I'm not the X and O schematic type of guy. I know kind of like as the game progressed and A&M kind of went to a little bit more of that, kind of putting just the three receivers out there. It kind of helps, but I it's gonna be interesting to see. But going back to that, I think I don't want to see our guys tipping off that they're pulling on a run play. Even if it is against Bethune, because it may look like, okay, this is a great run, and they could probably get away with that. But against Bethune, just because of we have the better athlete going into the game tonight. But what about when we don't? What about when the athlete is the same? And what about if you got a defensive end that is he sees that and he immediately goes? Then you got a guy that's gonna tackle the dive in the backfield because there's no threat of TVD faking it and running around the edge. So it's just that needs to be kind of like that was the first glaring thing that I saw when I saw, you know, Coach Hayes breaking that down. I was like, man, we're tipping it off like this, like they're nearly almost a yard in the backfield. You know what I mean? But something else I was thinking about too, man. Like I said, I ain't gonna hold y'all too long, man. They gonna take me a shower and stuff. I was thinking about how reminiscent this kind of season is kind of playing out with the way the schedule is playing out to like 2013. Because in 2013 we started the season with Florida Atlantic, then we played Florida. Then this particular year we started the season with Miami of Ohio. Then we played Texas A&M. In similar fashion, we beat both the SEC teams at our home stadium, and I think the games were at the same time, right? Now, obviously, we don't have a Clemson equivalent on the schedule, but another interesting thing about it is 2013. That was the year Florida State went to the national championship. God, I hope they don't make it this year. But at the time of that matchup, they were number 3, and I think we were number 7, right? So again, just looking far ahead, but because I saw that people had tweeted out like the media, like the ratings of the game, and I think we had about 4 million or so people watching. A top 10 matchup between Florida State and Miami, we're talking easily probably 10, maybe 11 million watchers, viewers, especially. I haven't looked that far ahead, so I don't know how many other teams are gonna be playing that weekend, undefeated in the game until that's. Yeah, man, like that would be bonkers. You know what I mean? I saw somebody say that the tickets were sold out. Cause I was like, dang, I wanted to go to the game, but I might still go down to Tallahassee or something. Somebody may have a little shindig or something, go hang out or whatever like that. But I saw the tickets were sold out. I'm sure you could probably buy some secondhand tickets, but if this trajectory keep going, somebody gonna hit a lick because they gonna sell those tickets for way more than what they purchased them for. But yeah, and UNC was good in 13. They're good now. Virginia Tech was kind of good, but there's a lot of similarities in that, in that particular, in those two particular seasons or whatever. At least, starting out early, because I think at that time, leading up to the Florida State game, we had one of the best, and this is under Mark D'Onofrio, which I think at the end of the year, I think that defense overall ended up being like your top 25, as hard as that is to believe. But we had a good defense going into Florida State, right? And we got good defense now. But that's gonna be something interesting. Speaking of defense, Jake, I don't think tickets are sold out. Probably just season tickets. Oh, that could be it. But what I'm gonna say, I got that information from a Hurricane. What do you want to call it? Tailgate thing. I think it's Canes United, right? I did. When I went to the LSU game back in 18, I kind of hooked up with those guys. Pause. Yeah, pause. Yeah, pause that. Yeah, please pause that. And for like where they were gonna park it. And so that's where I got the information from, where they said there was no more, like the tickets were kind of sold out or whatever like that. So you might be right, QB. It probably is some more. Yeah, Ellie, you gotta pause that one, man. You gotta pause that one. but uh, but yeah. So I forgot my train of thought. I forgot what I was saying. Oh yeah, Jaden Davis. Jaden Davis had a great game last week, and we got to see that again. Like we got to see that again against this particular, against this particular opponent tonight. Because like they say, big players make big plays in big games. Well, big time players make big time plays in every game. So I think it'll be interesting to see, what he does in this particular game. Um, Good pickup in the transfer portal. Have to make mention of that. A guy that probably not a lot of us were probably pretty high on, because we were like, well, what did you do at Oklahoma? You know what I mean? But it's kind of one of those deals where it's like, just because things may didn't look like something at another place, that doesn't mean they're not gonna work out here. And so, as of right now, I mean, he's looking like a type of guy. What happened to Chase Smith? I don't know. I don't have any inside information, so I don't know. I have no inside information. I don't know if, because did he come before COVID? Because he may have an extra year with COVID. He got hurt, maybe a medical red shirt. Then you could probably get a regular red shirt. I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I know he has a lot of promise, but the thing about it right now, man, and this is just the type of fan that I am, right? And I can't speak for nobody else. It's just certain guys you get an attachment to, and with the way Coach Cristobal is operating right now, Clemson and FSU defenses aren't any better or more talented. A&M be good rest of the year. Miami will lose. Look, I'll be in back. Oh, I agree, Aaron. Not saying that they will be better, but similar to, like, I'm gonna use a boxing analogy. It's like styles make fights. So while A&M may be a lot stronger along the defensive line over FSU and Clemson, Clemson probably has the best set of linebackers that we're going to play against this entire year, right? I would probably venture to say FSU secondary is better than A&M's and Clemson secondary. So it's kind of like all three of those defenses are strong somewhere where the other two aren't. Where A&M has the D-line, Clemson has the linebackers, FSU has the secondary, right? So it's just gonna be interesting to see how that plays out. And obviously Clemson still has a D line as well, but obviously we're not gonna say it's A&M's D line, and Florida State has a pretty good D line, but it's not A&M's D line. You know what I mean? And Florida State probably has the best pass rusher out of all three units. So that's kind of what that is. But getting back to QB about Chase Smith. We get attachment to players, and so with the way Coach Cristobal is operating, it's like we're recruiting, right? If you get over recruited, I mean, you just get over recruited. It's kind of like what's going on with Don Chaney now. Don was a guy we all kind of gravitated towards. I know personally I gravitated towards him, but now it's like Parrish is here, AJ Allen is here, Mark Fletcher is here, Citizen is here. So it's kind of like you got to work even harder to get back to that, get back in that good standing, or however that is. And so I think it could be a situation with Chase Smith. It's like, okay, you brought in Popo, got in Malik Bryant, Wes Bassane is here, which I think they will probably be kind of doing. Francisco's here. You see what I'm saying? So Chase Smith like I said, I don't know what's going on with him, but he's gonna have to play. I mean, he's gonna have to get it together if he's not injured. You know what I mean? Because it may be a situation. This is a new defense. For Chase. Honestly, this is that's another thing too, right? Because I know a lot was made about this being TVD's third offensive coordinator, but this is some of these players' third defensive coordinator. You know what I'm saying? So there's a learning curve that goes along with that as well. And not trying to say that Chase is suffering from not knowing the playbook. I don't want anyone to misconstrue me saying that, but that is something that does have to take. We have to at least put it on the table when we talk about maybe some of these older guys that may not be getting as much PT as we feel like they should. It's like, man, this is their third defensive coordinator. You got Manny, then you got Kevin Steele, now you got Lance Guidry. And so that's something to to take into consideration. But what are some of y'all score predictions tonight? What do y'all want to see, man? I mean, I'm kind of. I know some people. I saw someone say 73-0. I saw 63-0. Man, to be me, honestly, man, I'd be happy with 56-0. Personally, they're no better than A&M Miami low line, better than 0-3, then the 20 with King starting, with T starting, average 35-20. Well, I mean, Aaron, the thing about it is not about what's better or who's better overall. It's about what unit can cause disruption. That's at least that's the vantage point I'm looking at it from. Like, I think Florida State has the best secondary. I think Clemson has the better linebackers. I think A&M has the better defensive line. So it's just about the adjustment of what it is that, the adjustment of what it is we're going to do. 63, run center. Yeah, okay. I can see that. But if Emory gets in the game, I want to see Emory kind of throw the ball. I think it's one of those things where it's like it's a given that we're going to be able to, it's a given that we're going to be able to run the ball. Like, that's a given. But it'd be interesting to see if Dawson puts a little bit more on Emory's plate tonight to see how he can, work the offense. Can he go out there and visually see the coverages of what he's doing? Because if things go the way we feel like they're gonna go, he's gonna get a lot of reps tonight. He's gonna get a crap ton of reps tonight, and that means Ray's gonna get a crap ton of reps. Isaiah Horton probably gonna get a crap ton of reps tonight. So, Brashard is kind of on that. I'm gonna be honest with you, bro. After what I saw from X Saturday, hey, bro, ain't nobody taking X spot, man. Ain't nobody taking. So I think tonight it'd be a game about the D coordinator and how coaches the talent. Kev's put one person. QB, that's a great point because I'll go out on a limb. I don't think DJ Durkin is as good of a defensive coordinator as because people call the Clemson defensive coordinator Dabo's cousin. So I'm going to call him that. I don't think he may be as good as a DC as Dabo's cousin. But that could be based on that the talent that was left by, Brent Venables. And I definitely don't think he's better than FSU defensive coordinator, right? But yeah, so I think we're going to see a lot of Horton tonight. It's going to be interesting to kind of see how Emory and who Emory kind of targets. And that's another thing. Will we see, because I know a lot of people have been talking about it, the lack of the use of the tight ends. Will tonight be a night that we see more tight end usage? Could we see Riley tonight? Could we see Jaleel Skinner tonight? Like, we know Van Wilder's going to be in the game to start, but are we going to kind of see more of those particular guys, or is it going to kind of be, kind of status quo, right? And again, Jaleel Skinner, another guy I have a affinity to. Need to see the second set of receivers needed later on in the season. Yeah, that was, yeah. So I think the second set, right, just off the top of my head, Isaiah Horton, Brashard, and I guess you say Jalen Harrell. I mean Tyler Harrell. I guess you say that. Wouldn't that be dope tonight if we go play action post route to Tyler Harrell? I want to see the speed. I wasn't at Canes Fest. I don't get to watch the practice. I want to see it tonight. Play action post, or Let's see if he got some wiggle. Let's get him on a little bubble route, you know, a little one of those screens that Dawson loves. See, can he make a guy miss and get up the field? Because yeah, those guys are gonna be needed. You know, one of the great things about YouTube and just people that do football content is like you get to hear a lot more things, right? Um, I was listening to, and I know he's not in favor. I mean, nobody probably he's not anybody's favorite person, but I listen to Zach Smith show a lot, and somebody asked him a question about his wide receiver rotation at Ohio State. And so one of the things that he said is that he doesn't want to use his starter. He didn't One of the things that he didn't want to use his starters too much during the season because when it's crunch time, you know, because at Ohio State they playing in the playoffs, they, you know, one of the biggest game of the season at the last game. So he wanted his starters to be fresh, so he didn't want them using their legs too much. So you're right, QB. We got to see what we got you know, in the second half of the season because we need our starters fresh against Florida State. Heck, we need our guys ready to roll against Boston College and Louisville. You know what I mean? So that's gonna be something interesting tonight to see who are going to be um, the second string guys tonight. But yeah, ain't nobody taking X spot, man. Like, nah, X wanted so bad right now, man. And like, I know people, you know, like I say, Cam gets a lot of praise and he deserves it, and I'm glad that Cam is doing great. But you know when people say, man, if we had 22 Cams, bruh, if we had 11 Cams and 11 Restrepos, man, we talking, man. No, I say this: 11 Cams, um, six Restrepos, and 5 Inez Coopers. Man, sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. But with that being said, man, and this is to again shout out my boy E Brown. I'm not gonna continue to bloviate, vacillate, and pontificate. I've said what I need to say. Go Canes. Um, Go out here, get a good victory, get better tonight. Nobody breaking any shoelaces tonight. And hey, man, we get turned up and we get ready for Temple. Appreciate y'all hanging out with me for 32 minutes and 44 seconds. 44 seconds. So as always, man, it's always about the you, man. Like, share, subscribe, comment, and I'm out. Peace.